Welcome to another episode of SalonLife. With WhatSalon, everything you need to run, manage, and grow your salon business. This is SalonLife.
Hi, this is Naomi, and welcome to another episode of SalonLife with WhatSalon. Today we have with us Bruno Marc. Bruno Marc is one of the most recognized and rewarded hairdressers in the UK. He's the leader of the Marc Anthony artistic team, and along with his three brothers, Bruno is the driving force behind the Marc Anthony Group, a 5-salon-strong group based in and around Berkshire. Bruno is a passionate educator. He can be found educating and motivating hairdressers all over the world, sharing his skills and mentoring others to be the best. Okay, so Bruno, could you just tell us how did you get started in hairdressing?
I got started at the age of 15. I started to work in my father's salon. He was an Italian barber, and he used to call myself and my brother in on a Saturday, and I would work mornings till 12 o'clock, and my brother would do the afternoons. As in the afternoon, I played football, and we used to pick up £1.50 each.
Oh my goodness.
For what we did. And that was my first experience of salon life, as it were. But it was basically all men. So he had a salon where one side was gents, and you went out of the front door and through the next door, because he had the salon next door, which was ladies. So we worked on the gents side, just sweeping, cleaning, making coffee, and shampooing and folding towels. That was our job. But it didn't really hit it off with me at that point, because I was playing football for Reading at schoolboy level, and that's all I wanted to do, was to play football. So I did this just as to help my father out, and it was enforced on us. And then when I left school, I started playing football. But I had an accident and I broke my collarbone in 2 places, which meant I could not, you don't realise you can't run, you can't do press-ups, you can't do anything. And mine was not just a single break, it was a double break.
Oh my God.
So therefore I was out for a season. And then when I did come back and started training again, I went up in my first competitive game and fell on my shoulder, and it came apart again.
Oh my God.
So I was basically released, and remember Bobby Williams, who was at Reading at the time, who was the youth coach, said to me, why don't you just go and join your father in hairdressing? He seems to have a good career.
You're a football coach.
So, yeah. So I did that, and it was the only way I could carry on playing 2 days a week. And I was playing semi-professional. So I went straight from Reading into a semi-professional club, which was Maidenhead United. So I started playing for them, and my father would let me go early for training. And then I got more involved into the hairdressing. And this is going back to 1980 was when I first started. And my father then sent me to Allen International in Hammersmith, where I did a 35-week course on hairdressing, on all aspects of hairdressing. And at the time, it was run by the Malvin Griffiths. They were the Griffiths twins, and they kind of taught me everything. And there was a couple of people, Soraya, who was a sweet Indian lady, which taught me all about perming and setting, and had so much patience. And there was a cutter there called David Duffield, who was just phenomenal and the best guy I'd ever seen at cutting hair. So I used to literally, when I had any free moment, I was on his shoulder watching him. And he had a technique where he moved the one blade very, very quickly with his thumb. And I used to practice it. And obviously pieces of my knuckle would fly across the room.
Oh my God. Oh, that's disgusting.
On a regular basis until I perfected it. But I left there as one of their top students, and it was a great experience. And then I went back to working with my father, and I worked on the ladies' side then, because he knocked through the salon wall. So we had one big salon, because it was 2 separate shops, and I worked on the ladies with appointments. And then I went over to the men's side, never had appointments. They were just sitting and waiting. So whenever you were not doing a lady's hair, you were switching over to the men, cutting the men's hair. And I did that till I was 19. And then I went back to London and I started doing courses with Sassoons. I used to save up my tip and I would go to the Sassoon Academy for doing classic cutting courses, advanced cutting courses. So I was really getting into my hair. And my father then said, why don't you open up your own salon? So we found this property in Henley-on-Thames, which was a record shop, a little record shop. And it had a large garden out the back. and we opened it. We bought the lease originally, and we fitted 6 chairs and 2 backwashers in there.
So was this really before the Marc Anthony group? Was this just you independently?
No, this was because my father's salon, the reason was called Marc Anthony's first salon. But the reason it was called Marc Anthony was my brother Simon, his second name is Mark. Anthony.
Okay.
And my second name is Mark. So he named his salon after the 2 sons.
Oh,
Plus
nice.
he had this massive mural painted on the wall of Marc Anthony and Cleopatra.
Oh, fab.
That's how the salon was born. And but my father mainly did men, very few ladies. He was a phenomenal barber, but we used to churn them out at like 20 to 25 a day average, and on Saturdays you do like 35 heads of men. Whereas now it's all changed. I mean, we were just literally in and out 10 minutes. It was all clippers, 6-inch scissors, and it was very quick. And men paid £5.50, and if they had the shampoo, it's £5.90. I remember yesterday. So, but that's how we started. And then when we opened up Henley, we got the lease, and it was going pretty well. And we were a year into the lease, and the freehold was up for sale. And my mother and father had a house that was valued at £46,000 then. It was a detached house. And they put their house up for collateral so that I could buy the freehold property in Henley Hart Street, which was £118,000. And it was really, there was a lot riding on me then because I was like just 20 and a half.
Jeez.
My mum and dad had just put up their house as collateral, but what you got for that was I also had the flat above then. So I moved into the flat. So I felt that I was kind of a bit of a King Kong. I was coming up to my 21st birthday and I had the flat, Henley High Street and a salon.
Amazing.
And then my brother Simon joined me as a hairdresser, and we very quickly built the salon group up. We got our next salon, and then moving quickly 10 years on, by the time we were 32, we had 7 salons.
That's amazing.
It was going really well, but I can honestly say, Naomi, I didn't really know anything about business. I was basically running the salons thinking as long as I've got people on floor and people in the chairs, then I'm busy and that's it. And I met a guy because my product company house then, my manufacturer was L'Oreal.
Okay.
And I met a guy called Brian Willoughby, who was quite high up in L'Oreal. And he was leaving L'Oreal and he said to me, have you ever considered joining an independent group? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, I call it the Independent Franchise Group. And what it is, I bring 20 hairdressers together once every 8 weeks and we discuss business and you share knowledge with other hairdressers. So I joined this group and I met some great hairdressers, salon owners, and I met a person who's very well known in the industry called Stephen Messiah, who owns the Keith Hall Group in Nottingham. And it was like something like 20 odd salons strong.
Wow.
And he became a really good friend and he showed me all these procedures on how to run a salon, a bit more fine-tuned than what I was doing. Like, for example, one of the examples is I used to buy the local newspaper and the magazines from cash from my till and go out around the newsagent and buy them, whereas Stephen said, look, order them, pay them monthly, and it's all put through the books, where before it's just taking my cash flow.
Right.
There's little things like that.
Brilliant.
And then from the back of that, buying your coffees, your toiletries, where I'd go and pay it for cash around the corner. It was all buying it now through companies where everything is delivered. And it just taught me how to run a business more efficiently.
Yeah.
And then I started getting into books and following certain people that had successful businesses. So it's basically being self-taught. And then when I was 35 years old, Brian Willoughby and Stephen invited me to the British Hairdressing Awards in London. And me and Simon went along and we sat there and we just watched. It was Tony and Guy, Sachs, just winning all these awards. And me and Simon sat there and I said to Simon, look, I finished football now. I want some of this. I want to win some of these awards. And we started entering BHAs, but I had no knowledge whatsoever of doing a photographic collection. And I had a good friend of mine in the industry, Terry Calvert, who actually been nominated and won artistic team at the British Hairdressing Awards. He said to me, well, I can help you and show you how to put a shoot together. So my very first shoot, he art directed for me and helped me and put it all together. And I remember doing my first model and doing this beautiful bob coloured like an aubergine, and I made it all beautiful and smooth and brought it to camera. And we did a few pictures, shots, and then Terry just came over with a load of wax and smashed all this hair up and then took the picture. At first it was like, what are you doing? You just wrecked my hairstyle. But it was also at the same time, it was a light bulb moment because I could actually see how more wow and fantastic that looked on the screen as opposed to my flat, just little neat bob.
Interesting.
So I understood, and it was a learning curve. And, you know, it put me in good stead because I then went on in 2007 and I won my very first BHAs, which I was really pleased because I got through 3 previous years. I got to the final. But this year I had no art direction. I did it all on my own. And Terry was away on holiday. And when he got back, he said, how did your shoot go? I said, yeah, I think it went really well. And then when I got nominated and then had to do another 4 images, and when we won it was phenomenal. But at the same time I got the trophy and I said, that's it, I don't need to do this anymore. And people were saying to me, one particular person, Mark Leeson, who's a friend of mine, said, you've got to do it again. I said, no, I haven't. I've done it. I'm not one of these people that needs to. He said, yeah, but don't you want to get into the Hall of Fame? I said, no, I've won Southern Hairdresser. That's it. So I never entered the following year. And then people kept on, oh, you need to enter again. So I entered in 2009 and I never got nominated. So then you start, as we do, passionate people, wear their heart on their sleeve. You start thinking, was it a one-off? Am I a one-hit wonder? So then I pulled all the strings out and I went and did it again and I won it again.
Brilliant.
And I thought, that's it. That's great. I've won it. So I'm not a one-hit wonder because your little monkey plays with you on your shoulder.
Of course.
And then everyone's saying, well, you've got to do it again because one more and you're in the Hall of Fame. So, you know, you kind of chase it then because you know you're one more trophy away from Hall of Fame. And there's, you know, I think there's only 2, Tina Ferrari, and I think there might be one other person that's in the Southern Hall of Fame. So at the time it was only Tina. So I went for it and I got it a 3rd time.
Brilliant.
But it was really, when I won the 3rd time in 2014, it was absolutely amazing because we won. Southern comes up first and then towards the end of the categories of artistic team, colour and everything else. And in 2014, we did the double because we won artistic team for the first time, which was fantastic for my team. I was so pleased for them. But then that opened doors, whereas we started getting international companies come to us, wanting us to do their photo shoot, wanting us to do their shows abroad. And it opened up so many more doors. And I was already an ambassador at the time for Weller. So we were already travelling all over the UK and going abroad to certain places. And then when we won artistic team, we did a huge show for like 1,000 hairdressers in Milan for the Milkshake Group.
Wow.
And then they came back to us the following year and asked us to do their collection for them. So it just opened up more doors. And then on the back of that, we joined, I was already with the fellowship and I was doing shows for the fellowship, and we had a Chinese company that this will be our 11th year where we'll be going to China, and we do a show in front of 5,000 hairdressers there every year.
Oh my God.
So it opened a lot of doors, but I never set out to call you iconic or this, that and the other. To me, I'm a hairdresser at the end of the day. I love my job. I cut hair. And if people said to me, what is your best part of the job you like? It's being in the salon on a Saturday when it's buzzing, having fun, and everyone is, you know, washing off this colour, the phone's going, and you've got more clients walking in. To me, that is the buzz, and I still love that part of it. And a lot of young hairdressers think, oh yeah, but it must be amazing. You're doing all these shows and you do, but the shows are pressure. You can't relax.
Sure.
People are paying you a lot of money. So yes, it's a great experience. And when you're on that stage, it's great. But it's a quick adrenaline fix, and then you're off, and then you're back home. And people would think it's amazing. I find it nerve-wracking. If you speak to my team, they're normally, the nights we're there, if it's 2 or 3 nights, we're not sleeping. because we're planning the hair, our weights, our wig, how it's going to work, and your head doesn't let you sleep. And then the only night I do have the great night's sleep is when the show's over, you have a few drinks, and that night you definitely sleep because you've had 3 days of build up to that moment.
I was just going to say, your career seems so varied and you've got your hands in so much. Like, what does a typical day look like for you?
Well, I work in the salon from Wednesdays to Saturdays.
Okay.
Joyco give me a calendar in January, every January, so I know what I'm doing. Like we did a show in Rimini, Italy for Joyco.
Fabulous.
We've gone to Ireland. We've been in Poland this year. We did a show in Holland, and it's great. And we love that. And it's a new brand. It's a new challenge. All my team love the brand, which is great because I had 10 master color experts. But I just find I've been with Wella for 20 years, and I was looking for, I don't know. I'm the type of person that I always say to my team, go where it's scary.
Very good.
You know? Yeah. Because that will grow you. Always step outside the box. Whereas if you stay in it, you stay the same.
Yeah.
And Joyco came along at a moment, and they made me an offer as their international creative European director.
Wow.
And I went back to Wella, and I actually told them this because I didn't want to do anything under the carpet. And I said to them, I've got this opportunity. And they said, well, we cannot give you any more than what we're giving you. So I then, before I made the decision, I sat down with my artistic team because they are like 33, all of them. And I'm like, this is the future for you guys. So I need to know where you guys and what your thoughts are, because if I go and leave and sign a new contract and then you guys leave me, then I'm only as good as a team. And it's my artistic team they want as well.
Yes.
So the team all said, no, it'd be great. It'd be more challenging and nerve-wracking at the same time. So we did, and we started with Joyco in January. And it's been a roller coaster of fun and enjoyment at the moment. It's absolutely brilliant. And Eric and Danielle, who I deal with a lot from Holland, they are just phenomenal people. And I feel like I've known them for years, not months. It's just one of these relationships that's fitted. And it's worked from day one.
This was another episode of Salon Life with WhatSalon. Visit our site at WhatSalon.com for more episodes.